Hi there, Geoff Coughlin, Editor Scale Modelling Now. Welcome to this inbox review of the new and quite extraordinary SWS, the Super Wings series from Zoukei Mura, and this time we're looking at the Kawasaki Ki-45, the Kai or Toryu Nick. It's number 14, would you believe, in the series now. And from our experience, and certainly from my own, I've built a number of the models in the range now, the last being the DO335 in 32nd scale, which I thought was absolutely extraordinary. One of the best quality models I've ever built. I mean, it was just special in terms of the fit of parts and detail and so on. And what we have now, I think, is something that's probably even going to surpass that, assuming that all goes well. And I've got absolutely no reason to think anything other than that. So here we go, a 32nd scale Kai, for goodness sake. I mean, what more could you ask? Well, let's go and have a look. In this, I think, the second video that I'm going to bring you, we're going to look at the grey parts that come with the model. So let's just go on a little tour of these and have a look. Well, the first thing you notice, I mean, just the extensive range of parts involved. Huge amounts of detail, as you would expect. And immediately, just to point out that you've got two very clear options to which way to go with this, or probably even somewhere in between, which is you can either use all the grey parts, conventional, traditional style, or you can use the complete set of clear parts, which cover the whole of the airframe, really, except obviously some of the internal parts. So all the wings, the engines, the fuselage, the tailplanes, fin, just about everything is also offered in clear plastic. So if you want to go that route where you view the detail inside, you could do that. Or of course you could do some partial mix of the two. So lots of possibilities in terms of how you want to finish your model. For me, it's definitely the grey route, I'm afraid, because I just love to work on the whole thing and create a nice weathered finish, blah, and all the rest of it. And so what we have are some incredibly well produced sprues. They've got a really nice smooth consistency, very fine texture perhaps, very, very fine, but equally fine recessed panel lines, exactly as you would expect. The plastic is quite thin in places, which I think is good because that means that you get this finesse of detail. And little examples of that perhaps here, if we just flip over the main fuselage halves here, you can see you've got these really nice ribbed flap detail. You do have some ejector pin marks to take care of, which are just inside there. Nothing to write home about, but you just need to take care of those if you're going to drop the flaps. Lovely internal rib detail. Some really nice initial cockpit detail moulded into the sides. All of that is going to look really nice, I'm sure, as you would imagine. Just upstairs here, we've got the engine bearers here, main undercarriage legs. These look really sturdy. I like the look of these. I think they look very, very positive, which is good. And then you've got these beautifully thin lines. I think these are thin brake lines, actually, here. You're going to need to be careful removing these. So sharp, brand new scalpel time. You don't want to be messing up what's offered in the kit by these snapping off. So just take that easy in terms of your removal of those parts. I think separate, looks like fuel cells here inside the wheelbase, probably a little bit like the Mozzie had, Diavolo Mosquito, that kind of thing. Over here we've got open engine cowl flaps, which is quite nice to see. Like I said, always add a little bit of extra detail. And pretty much everywhere you look, you've got detail not only on the external surfaces, but also the internal surfaces here. And as you can see here, you've got some nice detail in terms of the actuating links there for the cowl flaps. Over to the main wings now. Nice detail in the upper sort of frame detail inside the wheel wells here, which is good to see. Options for slightly adjusted flaps. And you've got a really impressive little sprue here. Look at this completely moulded separate nose cones, different options for that, all in one piece, which is terrific to see. Options for instrument panels. Here you can go the route where you would apply decals into the recessed bezels, instrument bezels, or you could use or paint up the raised instrument panel over here. So that's fabulous. Another little thing that I spotted was actually when you look inside these MGs here, you've actually got very tiny little hollowed out muzzles, which is excellent to see. A bit hard to show you just picked those up on the video there. Okay, so really, really impressive across the board here. Got this great big super spar here, double spar, which is going to give lovely rigidity and make sure you get the wings at all the right angle, all that kind of stuff. Lots of nice instrument panel detail here, lovely raised detail for the cockpit. Further options here, you can see sort of a third instrument panel option going on over here. I think just for slightly different design by the look of it, but hey ho. Check that out. More fuel cells, a couple of bombs by the look of it. Really, really excellent across the board here. And this is just a small section of the sprues. So if we just get these, or some of these, just pop these out of the way for a second. Let's check out the remaining grey sprues. Just bring these into shot. Just give me a second. There we go. I mean, you can just see the extent of this model. It's absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. And we've got something really special lined up in terms of a build for you on this. So let's look at what's left. Here we've got various magazines, various bottles, I guess, oxygen and the rest of it. More tags here. Lovely floor detail here, which is good to see. No ejector pin marks on that, which is great. More engine detail. I mean, the engines are something else, to be fair. You've just got multiple layers of cylinders and all the rest of it. So maybe that could be an option, that you include one of the clear cowls, perhaps, so you could see all that internal detail. I mean, it's entirely a matter for you, as I said, but absolutely exquisitely detailed engines. More MGs over here, which look fantastic. Some lovely, nice exhaust. Not completely hollowed out, but perfectly far enough for me. Yeah, more in the way of engine detail over here. So there you go in terms of all the grey parts. Let me just grab one of the clear sprues just to give you an idea. As I said, you've just got multiple of these in the kit. Perhaps it'd be helpful if I just remove the grey sprues so you can see this properly. Okay, so what we got? So this is just typical of all the clear parts included. So exactly like the grey sprues, but just simply moulded in clear plastic. So as I said, you've just got umpteen more of these that cover all the rest of the airframe. So lots and lots of possibilities and options should you want to go that route. So in the next video, the other video, we will have looked at the decal sheet, and we'll also look at the instruction book, which is equally astonishing. So let's sign off with this, simply to say this is quite magnificent. If you haven't got it yet, or you're thinking about whether to buy it or not, there's so much modelling in here. I think it's worth every penny by a mile. So hugely recommended. Congratulations to Zoukei Mura on their new release, which is the Kawasaki Ki-45 in 30 seconds scale.